My name is Rebecca Clay, and I am going to help you winterize your boat for the winter. And this is an inboard ski brindella, and what I'm getting ready to help you with should work for all inboards like a Subra or a Ski Nautique or a Malibu. So what we really want to do first is take out the plug underneath that just drains the water out from underneath the boat. And then there are actually 5 plugs within the engine compartment that you need to take out and totally drain the water out. And one is a 1/2-inch drive here. And when you take this out, you probably will have a little bit of rust and dirt in it. That's not uncommon, so don't worry about it. And by the way, you want to put all of these aside so that you don't lose them, because they're easy to fall down into the engine area. And then this is, oh, and by the way, there is another one exactly like this on the other side of the boat. And then right here you have a 9/16 inch plug. And there is one identical to this on the other side, but it's a little bit more at the rear of the engine. So that makes 4. The 5th one is right up under the water pump area. And just make sure, since it's upside down, that you don't try to tighten it instead of loosen it when you're taking it off, and the same when you're putting it back in. When you do put your plugs back in, you want to make sure that you're threading them correctly. You don't want to strip your threading, because then you'll have to get new plugs. So you just want to slowly kind of work them in back and forth, and that will help get it in very cleanly. Now, not all boats have this, but mine happens to have an aftermarket little connection that helps remove all of the water from the engine. And if you ever wanted to put a water hose to it, then it allows you to do that. So I'm going to show you what that is. Now we're on the other side of the engine, and if you can see this, this is actually an aftermarket little area that it actually is clamped here and it's clamped here. Otherwise, this would be one continuous hose that goes all the way around. But someone has probably just cut it here and added this, which is, you can take this off. But you want to take the whole thing off and empty it and then put it back on. So these unscrew and they just slide down. They don't completely come off. You don't need them to. Sometimes you have to really work at them if they've been on there a while. So after you've drained the water, then you want to put them back on. And then you're almost done. The last thing you need to do is to now go to the other side of the boat. By the way, I have my helper with me. Hey, Roxy girl. She's been the biggest help. So now we are actually at the other side of the boat where we were in the very beginning. And we are actually just going to take this clamp off right here. And we're going to have to wiggle this hose off. And again, if you have not done this in a while, then it may be a little tight. You might even have to get a flathead screwdriver to go up underneath here to loosen it. The same as on the other side when we were taking that hose off. So you'll just take this off, and then you will just turn it up this way, and this is where the freshwater intake comes in. And so this is where we want to put our antifreeze. And I really suggest using RV Marine because it is safe for animals, fish, pets, and yourself. And it is biodegradable, and it takes 2 gallons if it's 50-50. And typically the RV Marine is 50-50. If it's not 50-50, it takes 1 gallon, and you just add 1 gallon of water to it. So you just pull this up, and you just put your funnel in it, and you put the 2 gallons in. And you may find that it doesn't take exactly 2 gallons, but because this is biodegradable, you don't really have to worry about it at all. And then once that's done, then you just pull this hose back down and clamp it back on. So now you're good to go, and you're winterized, and you'll be ready to ski next spring. And just a couple other things just to remind you of. Always keep your boat full of gas, and you can put in stabilizer before the winter, and that keeps moisture going into your fuel line. And the reason I really wanted to do this is because you can spend upwards of $125 to $250 to have your engine winterized. And girls, you don't need to do that. You can do it by yourself. And when the spring comes, You don't need anybody to help you. Everything's done. You put it in the water. As soon as you crank it, all that antifreeze goes out into the lake, and it's biodegradable. And the water comes back in, and you are good to go. Happy skiing!